Welcome to today's QFloors webinar. Today we'll be looking at the lead screen. This is a fairly new section, not completely new. It's been around for a year or so. And we're hoping that more of our customers will start using it. It's a great sales tool. Other sales software programs refer to this list window here as a pipeline. It's your sales pipeline. It's a tool for helping you to observe and track and manage how various salespeople are doing, what kind of training do you need to provide. It's an area that helps you to track advertising options that you're doing. It's a sales tool, and that's what really drives the business is your sales, of course, and being able to track and manage that is a great asset, a great tool. So we hope that you'll start using it if you haven't already. The leads are opportunities for sales. The lead is not the person or the company that the opportunity is associated with. It's the opportunity itself. What brought that opportunity to us? Now you could think of it as what brought that person or company to us, but it's really the opportunity for a sale. We're tracking the opportunity. Did we win or lose that opportunity? Some setup things that need to be done before. Actually, let me start on something else first, and then we'll look at setups. There's an ups manager that you need to be familiar with the leads. Under setup and leads management, we're going to log everyone off the up list. You can activate this up list in here. The up list is just a list of salespeople who are logged in and who's up next for the next opportunity or sale that's coming in. Okay, we've got a question here. Sorry, let me someone's saying that I need to close my web browser. Is anyone else not seeing my QFloors screen? No one else is having this issue, I guess. Okay, we'll continue. Sorry, Paul, I'm not sure what to say for you. Everyone seems to be seeing my screen. If I let me just check one thing here. Yeah, it appears everything looks to be okay now. We've had some technical difficulties already this morning getting this going, but everything looks to be going. The screen is showing, the audio's on. Okay, we'll keep moving. Okay, so this up list, it's salespeople, who's up next for the person that walks in or calls or whatever you set as the triggers for saying that this is an up. This is the next opportunity for a sale, and the person that was next has taken that opportunity, and the second person in line is now up. So you can turn that on or turn that off. For some people, very small sales floor, sales force, you might turn that off. We'll come back to this window here in just a minute. So this up list, if you have that activated, then when a salesperson comes in, edit, then up manager, and double click their name to log on to the up list. Now, sales manager, under employees, access, sales manager, in this lead section, sales manager can log someone into or out of the up manager. Okay, and you can change click on a person and change their rank, change their position, type a number and press enter, and that moves that person to that rank, to that order. So after you've done that, after you've had salespeople logged into the Up Manager, then this quick view bar across the bottom, if you click the Q to switch, toggle between, if you have access to it, you can see the actual quick view window, or switch to see sales reps. Some people and most people in your company shouldn't have access to see these financial numbers. So this person is up next, the person on the far left. Michael is logged in. Next opportunity, whether they walk in or phone call, different things, he'll take that up, and Ryan and Kathy will move over to the left, and Michael will move to the end. If you have a lot of salespeople, you're only going to see 4 at a time to see who's up next. You can always go to the Up Manager to see the actual order where they're in at the time. So those are a couple of things you need to set up. Another setup is under File, then Preferences, then Advertising. And you can click in here and type in an advertising campaign, press enter, or click the add button, either way. You can click on one and remove it. Restart QFloors. Okay, so those are some basic setup options you need to take care of before starting to use your lead screen. And then some others, a little more in depth, under Leads Management. We're going to click yes and log everyone off the up list. Must enter advertising, must enter looking for items. So when someone creates a lead, it starts off as a new lead. And it'll stay as a new lead for a very short period of time. The intent is they start the lead, fill it out, just a little bit of information, then work with the customer, and then come back and fill in the rest of the details. When you make a change to that new lead and save it, that's when QFloors moves it to a current lead. And we'll look at that process and look at those details. But during that, changing the new lead, making some changes over here, do you want to require them to select an advertising option? Do you want to require them to select a looking for item? Carpet, tile, wood, different product types, and some notes. So you check those if you want to require those to be filled in. Uncheck them, of course, if you don't. Some other things you can do in this window is set a goal, a sales goal for each person. So you click on a name and select the location, type in a goal, and this is for the month. This is a monthly dollar goal, and pressing enter changes the location and the goal. If you're changing just the location or just the goal, either way, once you have your cursor in the goal field and press enter, then it changes both location and goal. And of course, you can split that goal evenly. If you put 100,000 here and have that checked, then each person will get 25,000. Okay, so that's your setups for starting to work with leads. So then again, salespeople, when they come in to start their day, double click their name in the Up Manager. Okay, moving on. How to use the lead screen. So when the Ups Manager is activated, this button here next to the Save button at the top will say Up. If you have the UPS Manager deactivated, that will say the word new on the button. But it really does the same function either way. When you click this button, a little window opens, and if the UP Manager is activated, it shows the person who's up. If it's not activated, then it'll have a drop-down list, a selection list of salesperson names, and you select your name. Remember that only the sales manager can change the sales rep name on a lead and can log people in and out of the UP Manager. Other than yourself, you can log yourself in and out. Now, if I've clicked up and maybe I'm logged in as Kathy or Bill or whatever, and you can skip Michael. There is a log under reports. There's a skip log that shows who was skipped and who skipped them. Over here, walk in, phone, internet, and so forth. How did we get this opportunity? And then a description. What you type into the description is going to end up being the last name, but remember that's temporary. If a person has just walked in your showroom door, then the salesperson may not know the person's name or anything about them, but the intent is you're sitting at your desk, and if possible, then you just click the up button, type in a little description, and click OK. And then you're off and you're working with that customer. Now, of course, that may not be able to happen every time in that sequence. Maybe you're on the phone with someone and someone walks in the door and it's you're up, and you just got to get with that customer before too long. So, but at some point you've got to click the up button or the new button, fill that in. If you don't know the name, put it in the description. So you work with the customer, you come back to the new leads tab, select that lead, and then make your changes. And then, of course, your contact lookup, if they're already in there, you can type a phone or name, search for it. Okay, there's a question. Why do you need to tell where it came from if you do that under advertising? Good question. So I think we're asking about this type. Is it a walk-in or phone, internet, those four options that were in there versus advertising? So advertising are things that you have set up, campaigns that you're running, newspaper, radio, television. I put word of mouth in there. That's different from how did this person come to us. That's typically something that sales managers want to see. Are we getting a lot of phone calls? Are we getting a lot of walk-ins? And we'll look later at a report, the lead stats report that shows, was it a walk-in? Was it a phone? What advertising brought them in, so you can kind of see what's generating people to come in and how are they contacting us. Does that make sense? Hopefully that answers that question. Okay, so we had our new lead. We're making changes here. And you fill it in. Projected close. It's a really good idea if the salesperson can kind of estimate, I think we can get this sale closed up by such and such date. So if we skip the advertising, when we try and save this, it'll warn us. have to put something in there because we have that turned on in our setup. So it's unknown, it's some other options, whatever you've set up in here. Maybe they saw our ad or television ad. Press the enter key. Same thing with looking for. You have to enter something there if I try to save it before I've entered that in. So here's your list of product types. And you can fill out more than one. You can put in room sizes, colors, notes, anything you want to put in there that the customer said, mention as you talk with them. So we have this list of items that the customer was looking for. Any other notes you can put down here? If you kind of have an idea how they expect to pay and some dollar amount, and we'll save it. We'll add this person to the contacts, and it dropped off the new leads list and it's now in the current leads. So again, it should stay on the new leads for a very short time. I've worked with the customer, they called in, they were walk-in, whatever it is, I get as much information as I can and then come back and change, make my changes, fill in the blanks, save it, it's now a current lead. So in this way, management can track things. You can add columns, and you can see, are salespeople getting the information that we need, or are they not? There's reports, lead stats. So here's where you can see leads. We won, we lost, how many are current, how many are new, some totals, what type of advertising. Under each different category here, walk-ins. We lost one walk-in, we have 2 current walk-ins. I haven't put enough data in here to give a really full report, but I think you get the idea. What were they looking for? So this way you can kind of see, and we did a lot of radio ads for a ceramic tile sale, and nobody's looking for tile except one person. And we have a whole bunch of people looking for carpet. So anyway, you can see how it can help you to manage, make goals, make plans, adjust your budgeting, all kinds of different things that you can gain from these reports. But it really depends on your sales staff filling in the blanks, getting information, calling customers back, and their ability to close sales. So we filled out this lead, and we work with the customer. Maybe we need to check out a sample. So we're going to click Add Sample here. I don't remember what we have here. A lot of hard surface. If you have just a sample board that has all the different colors on it, you don't have to pick a color here. You can just click Enter Sample. Click the Samples button to see which samples they've checked out. Go back to History. In the history, if you have created an invoice for that for this lead that we've actually won the lead, then it'll show in here the invoice. And you can have multiple invoices created for this lead, linked up to, associated with the lead. You can do a search in the status search field over at the bottom left for all samples, samples out, samples in. So if we click samples out, then you can see If we add some columns, hold the Shift key, left click, sample date, style name, color name, you can add those columns. Remember, you can always do your search, Control F as in find, to search through and find items that are in the current list. And so you can search for samples and type in a style name or part of a name to find the one or two different leads, different potential customers that have that sample out. Checking a sample back in is just double-clicking. Yes or no, check it in. So we'll click yes, and the sample's back in. And then here it shows the date they brought it back in. Check out date, and then the color will have added into it the check-in date. Of course, tasks, you can do a task clicking the new task button, or do Control T on your keyboard for a task. Again, that works really in any part of the program. In any of the screens you can Control T, or in your dashboard you can start a new task. And that's how you create a lead. Now, taking this and creating a sale. If we've lost the opportunity, then just change it down here at the bottom to lost, save it, and that's recorded and goes into the reports. If you click the invoice button, it copies the name and address and phone number and today's date and puts everything in over here, and we may have some special date over here that we're going to get that installed, and then you fill in the rest of your invoice. I don't remember what style I selected. I have a good memory, it just doesn't last very long. Posh Origins. And they could have selected some other style, of course. That one sounds good. And you know how to create an invoice. When you do that, when you create a sale, the lead didn't happen. It did, it just didn't refresh that list. But so the lead gets changed to 1 automatically. If we come back over here and change this to a proposal, to my understanding, I probably needed to do that before I actually saved the invoice. I'm pretty sure that if, let's take Mr. Linker here, if we, let's change this back to, delete that. So if we create an invoice, okay, there's some sales tax setup issues going on there. It's different. And we fill, and so let's just leave it here as a proposal status and click Save. Then it's not automatically changing itself to a 1 or lost 1 in this case, of course. And then when we come back and actually put in some product, and it's no longer a proposal, well, I've been misled. I apologize. It's supposed to change that. There it did. It takes a minute, I guess. It changes it to, no, it didn't. It's supposed to change it to 1. So I'll talk with the programmers. That's what it's supposed to do, so I'm told. But you can change it, press enter, save it, and it's a completed lead. You can go from an invoice and see it's associated or linked to a particular lead. You can click that button and it will take you to the lead. If we In this history window, you can see the invoice. Double click, take you to the invoice. Not sure why this one's not showing up. If you've created a sale, you can link it to a lead. If you click this button, better find which lead it is first. 5. So we'll link to lead number 5. You can do it backwards that direction. And that's the overall process. It's really that simple. I've had some people say it's a little extra, it's a little more than they want to do. I think it's worth it. To me, this is a great, valuable tool for managing your sales. Does anyone have any comments about that? Any experience or use with the leads? Anyone want to give some claim or criticism? Or any questions? Okay, Richard has a question. Can you go from invoice back into leads to track? Richard, are you asking can you create an invoice and go backwards and create a lead later? Yes, that's the question. So can you create an invoice and then later create the lead and fill out some of the blanks? Yes, you can. As we saw here with this particular invoice, it's not linked to a lead. And then after you have created the lead, you can click the, there was a button there that said link to lead. You can click that and type in a lead number and click OK, and it'll. Right. I think I'm answering that question. I hope so. Let me know if I'm not. But if you forgot to create the lead, oh, so yes, you do have to retype all the information. Not really all of it, because if you've created the invoice, if you create a new invoice, and let's see, who can we put in here? We'll put so if we create this and we save, QFloors asks, proposal, yes, add it to the contact list, yes. So now when we come to create that lead later, and you click up or new, you can just type in the description, phone, walk-in, internet, other, XYZ, other. And then when you come to your new lead, select that. You can look up and then double click, and that'll fill it all in. So you really only had to type it once when you created the invoice. Does that help, Richard? Does that answer that? You're very welcome. Anyone else? Of course, that wouldn't be the ideal way to do it, but sometimes that might be how it happens. So yes, you can go backwards. And then, of course, you would link the Thought I created an invoice. Link the invoice back to the lead. Okay. Thanks again to everyone for participating, for your great questions, for all of your support. Send us an email if you have further questions. We will have this posted on our website, of course, and you can watch this anytime. Have your sales staff watch this. I think it's a good idea for all of your sales staff to understand those setups that I went through at the beginning, so that they know what's being generated from where, why certain requirements are coming up, how to log into the uplist if you're using that. Thank you.